Welcome to Project Review Committee for September 10th, 2025. I'm going to go ahead and start today's meeting at 1:34 p.m. Welcome. My name is Oscar Cepeda. I am the chairperson for today's PRC meeting. I'm going to go ahead and do roll call here from staff. We're joined from the planning division. We're joined by Jeff O'Neill, our city planner. Rocio Mejia also joins us as our assistant planner. Myself, Oscar Cepeda, as the chairperson and associate planner. From the economic development team, we're joined by Maggie Salazar. Fabian Uresti also joins us as the development assistant, and Maggie is our development associate. From the engineering division, we're joined by Javier Sanchez, our engineering and project management director. From the fire department, we're joined by Clayton Dignam as our fire marshal. With the building division, we're joined by James Wickersham as our chief building official. From our public works department, we're joined by Robert Alvarez as our acting public works director. David Payne joins us as our water utility superintendent. Brianna Spry joins us as our field services superintendent for refuse. And then also Joe Baeza joins us as our field services superintendent for the streets.
Taking the jury. You're guilty.
That is all city staff. Cool. Oh, sure. Now with that, I'm going to go ahead and open oral communications. This is the opportunity for public members to address the committee on any matter related to project review.
I'm here to help Steve, so don't pay attention to Greg. You're not with me.
Don't tell him that. Don't leave it.
Anyway, I'm here to help Steve, so I'll wait and tell you to
Close oral.
Thank you.
Is it oral communication?
Right now, yes.
First, is anybody else that doesn't like you could be here and not here. They didn't make it.
Are there any comments from anyone joining us online regarding to address the committee on any matter related to project review?
No, not at all.
Better.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Brian. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
No,
Here.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Not hearing any other comments. We're gonna go ahead and close oral communications. So for today's project review committee agenda, we do have 4 items on the agenda. Starting off with the first item, which is PRC 2025-039 for the Penn subdivision. The applicant is proposing a residential subdivision located at 830 East Laurel Avenue. The subject property is located within the low-density residential zone district. It does have a general plan land use of also of low-density residential. Let me go ahead and share my screen here for the preliminary map.
That's one of the maps.
Yes, we did get 2 examples. I'm showing example under Exhibit A. And then there was also Exhibit B that was just a little bit different configuration. For the first comments from city staff, we're going to go ahead and start with engineering with Javier Sanchez.
All right, for engineering, what was it? I know that there's been construction out there, so for the first phase, it would just be completing the last bit of improvements on the last 2 lots. What are those lots? 12 or 11 and 12. But besides that, it's with all the improvements almost completed, it really just comes down to the final map processing. And as far as parks fees, because it's under 50 lots, you could pay an in lieu park fee rather than dedicate park land. And the one comment we have is on Henderson. The general plan shows that there's and Henderson's supposed to extend through there. We've looked at the 2030 build out and the traffic counts for there, and obviously it's not shown on this map, so it looks like it's a desire of the applicant to not implement that, and the counts would support that Henderson wouldn't be required.
Who supports that? Council or staff supports that removal of that, Javier?
Well, the traffic count, so it would be,
I said council. Okay.
yeah, and then, so that would be taken before council for the ultimate decision on that.
And that's the big pie in the sky thoroughfare that we want to do, right? That we haven't got a single piece of yet. So that we're gonna propose to either realign it down the Henderson leg at Laurel if we ever want to do it in the future, but we're not going to require it as a dedication on this map, right?
Right. And I know planning will probably have comments tied to what that process would entail.
Okay.
But on the engineering side, that we did look at those counts and the traffic just isn't there.
Well, that's a dead end. I don't know. That would be there. It's dead end. And the traffic count, is that as a perceived, in the future, how much traffic we think we're gonna get there? Is that what you mean by that? I'm fuzzy on what you talk about the traffic count. What's going on there now, or what's gonna go, what's estimated to go on there?
Right. So what the traffic counts are based on is it assumed that the city would grow to the full 2030 limits.
Right.
And even if all that area got built out, the traffic counts are very low in the area, which don't really support the 4-lane roadway.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
So
Go
that's
ahead,
all.
buddy.
No, that's all engineering has.
Okay. I don't, at the risk of pulling at a thread here, on these plans, we talked about this briefly at another meeting. The double frontage road is not a concern for you. So I don't want it to come back later. Where we have the first phase where they have a road in the back. And I know I shouldn't tip it off, but you're gonna find it later anyway, so I thought I would ask about it right now. Right.
It was, I was thinking planning was gonna jump in since it's out of our development ordinance.
I threw it on you.
Yeah,
Oh.
we had discussed that, and that would be part of planning's comments.
Okay, so planning's gonna bring it up, okay.
Yeah, Javier's was the bigger issue with the general plan circulation element and the inclusion or exclusion of that Henderson Avenue alignment. But yeah, Oscar will get to that.
Back on you, Oscar.
Yeah, so I'll be providing planning's comments. Of course, you are showing a preliminary residential map. The next step is to submit a tentative map. There are fees associated with the tentative map application. As far as the configuration or design of the lots, they do have to comply with our minimum standards. The development code does state whenever we propose land divisions that those lots shall not have double frontage, right? So it is in the development code that double frontage lots is not permitted, and that's under section 407 of the Porterville Development Code. In addition, there are some lots that exceed the 2.5 times the length to width ratio.
Yeah, it's got that too.
So those are some items that we would have to modify for the tentative map. That way we could be in line or
Right.
within what the minimum.
You know what numbers those are? I think I saw them on, and again, it depends on which map
Yeah, but it's gonna be these eastern lots, of part of the,
Right.
proposal.
You know how many of them are that way, or do you know?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Are those all
5.
above the 2.5 to 1 ratio?
Yes,
Every one of them?
yes, here.
How much?
We'll provide those, the PRC letter, exactly which
Okay.
ones,
And for the purpose, let me interject real quick, Oscar.
Yeah.
For the purposes of looking at this right now, like the one that he has up, there's a really easy fix to that, which it could include just changing the angle of that easternmost street.
Yeah, I thought about just bowing it over a little bit.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I
that's
thought that too.
really, yes, so what Oscar said is accurate, and they exceed the 2.5 to 1, but that's really less of an issue because that's an easy fix.
I thought so too.
All right, just going over the fees, tentative subdivision map, fees, final map fees. It will require an environmental assessment of the project.
No negative deck?
Preliminary, but of course, once they do the initial study, we'll be able to confirm that.
Okay.
So preliminary, we're looking at a mitigated neck deck.
See any problem with us getting a mitigated neg deck? Neighbors complain?
No, I don't see an issue, with that being the, recommendation.
Okay.
It will require a public hearing for the approval of the tentative map in addition with the environmental document.
We know how much the fees are?
Yeah, tentative map is $3,004 plus a $39 per lot fee.
3,004 plus 39 per lot.
And then there's also a final map fee, which is 1,672. And then there's also a per lot fee of $40.
Okay, so final max is, I'm sorry, say it again.
1,672.
Got it. And then what was the other one?
Per lot fee of $40. Of course, there's the additional cost, in regards to the, CEQA, process.
Right.
That's gonna be contingent on the, consultant, or I know there's been recently a change in our code that, the applicant may
Choose their own.
use their own. There's also a county filing fee made to Tulare County depending on the environmental document. We'll provide those numbers in the letter. It will require noticing of the adjacent properties within a 300-foot radius. The applicant can do, that themselves, or the city can provide that service for, $26.50.
Per applicant or for all of them?
For the public hearing noticing.
I know the 26 days.
That's just one fee for.
I'm gonna have you do it then. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, and once this project has been final to the final map, and then once you get ready to develop these lots, making sure that they comply with chapter 201 of our development code, which is our residential district, which outlines, development standards of those lots, lot coverage, setbacks, uses.
I want that to be kind of, not gonna approve the map.
No, that's in the future. In the future, once we get ready for development. We will provide those details in the letter. That way you have that.
We gonna parlay that environmental report for the.
It's gonna be for the whole area, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be for the full map area. The whole, yeah.
You can't just do a partial one, right?
This one do.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's the same money, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, oh yeah, it would.
There's too much money.
First off, like Oscar implied, the chances of this requiring anything beyond a mitigated neg deck are extraordinarily slim.
Yeah,
So you're just basically doubling down on your cost if you split it up into.
right.
Yeah.
This, basically what you're saying is, it's the same to do that one as to do the other one, so we're not saving really money by breaking it up in two pieces.
Yeah, because you'd end up having to do two documents.
Right.
So yeah. And I know you've been at the council meetings, Greg, but just to elaborate on what Oscar was saying, we can still, there's a few different options. We can still do the task order process, under which the environmental consultant would contract with the city and the applicant would pay for that. We can just provide a list of the consultants to the applicant, or the applicant can choose somebody else that's not on the list. And then
You guys are gonna know, you guys know who's the cheapest, right? Or you guys know who's got the good timeline. I mean, we'll keep the option open, but But we know some of these guys, man, they drag their feet. Some of these guys are high, and I'm sure you guys know better than us who the guy to use is, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't have, obviously you don't have to decide that immediately. We can talk about it later
Sure.
and get it all figured out. Just letting you know what the options are, so.
I appreciate it.
What is the timeline on one of those reports? You think?
Generally, I mean, at a minimum, it's, and this includes, because there's an upfront tribal notification requirement, there's a 30-day mandatory circulation period. And those two things can't overlap. Then there's the development of the document itself plus review. That can overlap some of that, but it's, I mean, generally 120 days, 90 to 120, best case. And you know, if there are any issues, it can go beyond that, but you know, I would say 3 to 5 months. I know I just said 90 to
No, that's a better number, 3 to 5 months.
Three to four.
Without no complaints.
3 to 4 months, 90 to 120 approximately,
Yeah.
up to what?
If things go well, yeah, 90 to 120.
If it doesn't,
It's gonna go well. Of course,
5 months to, what'd you say?
No, I just said, I
worst,
said
worst
5.
case,
I was
No,
kind of- I
what's
was
the
kind
worst
of
case
hedging.
scenario? 5 months?
3 to 5.
Well, worst case scenario is there's a lawsuit.
Or is that the best case scenario, 3 to 5 months?
Yeah, if things go, and I was kind of amending what I said from 90 to 120 to, it's instead of 3 to 4, 3 to 5.
Not 2 years.
No, no, no.
And we'll see. Don't find any Indian burial ground. That's what I'm telling you right now. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeff. What else you got?
That's it. I was just elaborating on what, on the CEQA component there.
Okay, what about the double frontage lots? Are we gonna get any grief over that? We just approved one over there by the college, so I'm, you know, if we're gonna start, you know, holding, I like double frontage lots. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, that came up in our discussion, what is this, Wednesday? That came up in our discussion Monday afternoon.
Right.
We'll take a look at that. The situation is a little different.
How so?
Well, in that, in this, you're subdividing property to create a new street that
Sure.
would be double frontage lots. Whereas in the old one, or not the old one, but the other one, you had existing lots and right of way was dedicated to create a new street. And I know that might sound like a semantic difference, which is why I'm not making the decision.
I got it.
But we're gonna talk about it and see what we can figure out.
Well, it looks like what you got, we went over there and looked, and it looks like what you did is they've got, because I remember when it came up and people complained because they wanted access, but I noticed that we didn't let them put any gates in there, and they've got some kind of cheesy kind of plastic panels up, and maybe that's the fix. You know, I don't want to have to put up a concrete block wall or anything, you know what I mean? Try not to do that. That's really going to be on the next guy anyway, because he's just going to do his phase one, and he's going to sell the map off, and then what's left of the map off, and then that'll be the next guy's deal. But I would like to get a little clarification. If we have to change the code to allow for double frontage lots, I'm not averse to that, because now with ADUs and stuff, I don't know why we're not really making it easy with double frontage lots.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with anything you just said. The situation is a little different because it's a local street. And normally we would not want, I mean.
Yeah, the access from cars.
Yeah, so again,
I live on Williford, and
like Oscar said, the code prohibits it. But like you just said, there may be something that we can do because of the specialness of the uniqueness of the situation
Sure.
to come up with a solution.
Oh, the variance or something.
So yeah, I would like to just say no because the code says A, B, and C, but I'm not saying that right now. Because
Well, I was there when we wrote that code, and I didn't agree with it back then. I live on Williford, been living there 50 years, and it's a double frontage lot. And I can tell you, it really makes it a lot nicer, especially now that we're trying to, you know, if a guy's got a motorhome, instead of trying to figure out how to get it, and he's got these 5-foot side yards, you know, it really is helpful. And with the ADUs now for their own access, I'm a big fan of it. I think this is more of a holdover, and I think there was a time, I guess, when it was appropriate, but I just feel like today it's obsolete.
Yeah, I mean, I will not disagree with anything that you've said about the subject so far. So just stop talking. No.
That's good. All right. We'll see what happens. We're
Yeah.
gonna proceed on the presumption that we're gonna come up with a fix. We got to get this kind of council anyway, and they're gonna have to bless it, so it doesn't matter until they bless it.
Yeah, exactly. We're in agreement.
Go ahead. We're not in disagreement yet.
More accurately.
Yeah, that's our preliminary comments.
That's good.
Yeah, so
Let's see what.
moving
next.
along with, placement of the fire department.
Can you bring up the, water lines in the area?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Now, I just put in all new sewer, all new high pressure line, water, all the connections, all the way down Laurel and all the way to the unlegging.
Right, I think he's gonna
Right
probably
there,
talk
just
about
the
the
whole thousand
internal
feet.
lots is what I'm guessing.
Let's see what we got here.
No, I just want to see show what the system is. So we have. So to put this in there, it just needs to be on a loop system, which it basically is looped through Laurel. If you tie in off of Laurel, go through the subdivision and then go back out down and drop down on the Henderson side. We have water coming from Henderson and we have water coming from Laurel. If either one of those sides goes down, we still have water to, so that's when I say a loop system, that's what I'm meaning. If, for example, Henderson dead ended right there,
Right.
it would be flagged, you would have to connect
Right.
to another place, but looks like the water lines are already there, so that should be relatively simple, so,
So you would bring it up to the tank and then back down through one of these interior streets?
not necessarily to the tank, just to the line.
That's up
You
there.
would have a hot tap there and a hot tap down there,
I got you.
right?
Right, that's what.
Yeah, it'd be looped, yes. So essentially, fire hydrants shall be placed based on distance, no greater than 500 feet spacing. So 500 feet is the maximum spacing between, no, 500 feet, we've amended the code.
Is it 500
When?
foot staggered?
When did you guys do that? 500 feet?
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's 500 for single-family residential subdivisions, and then for mixed use, commercial and multifamily, it's 300 foot maximum.
Okay.
500 for residential?
And that's as the hose would lay. So basically what we would do is you would take that,
Go across.
mark out where the existing hydrants are, and then from the nearest hydrant, mark out, start measuring around the corner, put one within 500 feet, go down, and if it's, over 500 feet to the next one will have to go in the center.
How we did it before, but now we do it that way.
Fire hydrants in.
Well, I may have to put another one in there. I don't know. Clearly, what we used to do, like, go back up on an overlay when we showed the kind of the Google. Okay. So what we used to do in a situation like this is we'd put a hydrant, let's say at a corner there, and then we would go 1,000 foot on the same side under the presumption that the guy across the street was gonna put one in between the two. We're not doing that.
That's not how it works.
We don't do it that way anymore.
That would be like on the outside of a subdivision where you've got a block wall and we're just going down the major thoroughfare. For example, South J Street would be somewhere where that would happen, right?
What's the way we stagger streetlights too? We're not doing it. Do we?
Yeah, no, we're basically doing it based on measurement.
So technically, if if we put it on this side, the guy across the street doesn't have to put any fire hydrants in.
He will, because we don't allow fire hydrants across a public street to count for your project.
Yeah, I
The guy
got
across the
it.
street's gonna have to put some in too.
But that's stupid.
Well,
Because then now we're 250 foot for fire
well,
hydrant.
but remember, the measurement is a maximum spacing. We can be 250 feet. We have hydrants that are closer than that in town.
Right.
Right? Because there are more things than distance that require fire hydrants, right? It could be projects that have a higher water flow. They could have to have,
I got you.
2 or 3 of them where, in a smaller space.
It
So,
doesn't matter. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue about it because it's probably.
We put a fire hydrant right there.
Nothing to do about it.
And the easiest thing to do, like I said, is we find out where the existing ones are. And what you'll do is you'll run them out and plot them how you think. And then I'll look at it and review it. And if it's good, it's good. And if not, I'll make a couple suggestions.
Perfect. Now, is this a state fire code or are we more restricted than the state fire?
We are more restricted than the state fire code with the 300 and 500.
Mhm.
But that's how we help to keep
How we roll.
that's how we help to keep our insurance rating and everything else.
I think
Our
we
ISO
put
stuff, yeah.
fire hydrants
I'm gonna argue about
on
it.
this corner.
You're fine.
I'm not sure where it started here to get this measurement tape to. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
There's one here, this is 1,000 feet, so we're gonna put one 500.
No more, yeah.
That's gonna
No
maximize
more
my
than
profit.
500 on that side and then you're good.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, if you have a scalable set of
Right.
drawings, when you decide which map you're gonna go with,
Right.
just bring it in and we'll
Look
go
at it.
over it together. Okay,
Good.
it's not really a difficult issue and it doesn't become.
See, this is where actually
That's the end of the street.
at the end of the street where,
How many of you got in there, Steve? You got any fire hydrants in there? I don't remember.
yeah, go to that corner, yeah, you're right.
Corner right there.
And we hooked it up to
Where
the
we
high
at?
pressure and we didn't make it go through the drop down?
Yeah.
Did we hot tap it into the high pressure?
It's about by that pole.
We put all new
Anybody know?
lines in, all the high pressures, all the sewer.
Oh, yeah,
all
this
the-
is from 2022, so
Yeah, it's not gonna
I'm not
show.
gonna show the new ones.
Yeah, the street.
You don't got a newer picture?
Google hasn't driven by there, so.
Yeah, they don't go down that street often.
You gotta get them when you want them.
But I can drive out there with
But
you.
there is, because I was looking for the 500.
I was out there yesterday. I was out there yesterday and saw that there's already some in there, so.
Right, is it 500 foot as the crow flies or 500?
500 foot as the hose lays.
Oh, on the front.
Oh, blade, grows.
Damn,
same
Clayton.
thing.
Lays.
What do we just diagonal it for you, buddy?
If there's nothing in the way, sure, but
No, I.
we don't go through houses, we don't go through cars. Contrary to the movies, we don't like to punch the windows out of cars to run fire. We like to go around them.
All right.
So,
300 for the multi and the commercial.
additional measurement that comes into play is based on that fire hydrant spacing and how you have them lay out. No structure shall be greater than 400 feet from a hydrant. That is the fire code. Basically maintaining the roads to meet the minimum city standard for road width. And then, you don't have any, the old proposal, I think, had a dead end roadway. You're not proposing any dead end roadway, so this one doesn't matter. And the only other real thing on there is that the, water shall be on site, approved water on site prior to combustibles being brought in. So let's say, for example, you wanted to start on the far end of phase 2 instead, making sure we have water up there first before you bring combustibles in. And I have allowed temporary water for example, for some other subdivisions. We've allowed, like a 12,000 gallon tank per 10 houses. We had a subdivision that wanted to get started before the water system was.
We have water out there, so I don't think.
That's what I'm saying, is you should be fine with that. I'm just,
Okay.
the option is for some people, because I know if you were to develop in Visalia, you gotta have everything in place except the 2-inch asphalt overlay before you can even bring in combustibles. In Bakersfield, you have to
What is it? What?
wood framing.
Wood's combustible.
You can do
They
the,
can't build houses on wood.
you can do the concrete pads, but you can't start bringing in the stuff that's gonna burn.
Mm.
But like in Bakersfield, you have to have everything in, including the asphalt, before they let you build.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, wow, and it's, again,
Let's put the car in front
we,
of everything.
we try to work with everybody on this stuff, right, to keep these projects going, so. But that's it for fire on this project. Relatively simple things. I can help you guys plot the
Yeah.
fire hydrants and go from there.
Well,
right.
big question was it on the Henderson Road where we had to align it to these lots? If we were gonna choose something like this,
I think Javier covered that.
Yeah, I know.
Javier?
not very well.
That is a good question. You know, Javier, on this map, it looks like Henderson's a little offset, on either map. So my thought on that was just to kind of do a secondary road that kind of is drawn on there. So it doesn't matter where we bring it in, you know what I mean? Where it aligns with Henderson, because it's just a big loop anyway. Does that sound good to you?
Street center lines have to be at least 150 feet away from each other. If not, they'll have to join.
Yeah, well, that's what we did. There's no way to squeeze the lots in there and again, and have them exactly aligned. So that's why we kind of put a road across the front there, so it can kind of come in and jog over if it needs to. Do you get what I'm saying right there?
Yeah, but that's. Let me see.
Those lots are 200 foot away, or the roads are, those lots are at the smallest, I think 100, and at the largest 120. So those roads are at least 220 foot away.
No, but so Henderson, the existing east,
Yes.
west of Leggett,
Right.
that the separation between the extension center line and this new road in the middle,
Right.
they either have to match or be at least 150 feet away.
Okay, so how do we do that other than get rid of that one lot and just make it? I mean, they're not gonna. There's no way we can do that. There's you can't see, but I'm saying here, but here's the center line here. Well, obviously it's off by maybe 40 feet or 30 feet or something like that.
Mhm.
So is there a way we can open it, go wider here so it can sweep in, or it absolutely has to be aligned?
What we've seen before is that that road connection would shift north and then you swing south. So it impact the drainage basin lot and potentially lot 41.
So you end up with well, it's on the drainage basin lot is up at the very top, but that's not, again,
It's way.
is he talking about that one? Oh, that, I see, okay, yeah, that's that, oh, so I thought we were putting the drainage basins up, so.
Well, we are.
All right, so, well, I mean, but for the purposes of this map, that's not how they're doing it. Because what they're saying here is, Steve, is that these are offset. You're not allowed to be offset. So what they do is you're gonna cut a little of this, maybe move your drainage basins up so you can create a sweep so it can then be in line. Is that what you're saying, Javier?
Yes.
You put a circle there,
So that'll work? That'll work so we can,
roundabout.
no. All right, well, that's okay. I mean, I guess we'll do that as part of the deal, as long as you're not, as long as you're okay with it not being completely aligned, then when we bring the map to you, you can make some tweaks to it or whatever. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, I know it's somewhat of an exaggeration, but on like the Google Maps, there's like a dirt road. It'd be
Where?
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not the street view, but just the aerial view.
Like a dirt road that kind of sweeps it in and lines it?
So I don't know if you have the computer, Oscar, on the Google map page.
I don't know. Oscar's yakking them over here.
Oh, sorry. What was that?
On
Go
the,
back.
if you can pull up the aerial view
Oh, yeah.
and then yeah, so see that little dirt road that kind of goes
Mhm.
around the basin, the
Yeah,
current
yeah.
temp basin. That we'd envision something there where the streets meet at the Leggett Henderson intersection, but then it sweeps down to fall in alignment with the rest of the lots. Not there, but up here at Henderson and Leggett.
Still kind of confused, but that pond is just a temporary pond, you know that, right?
Yeah, so that needs to be relocated.
Right, obviously, it's gonna go to the north,
Mhm.
but I guess it's because you're not here, it's hard to do. What are you trying to do, or you said you can do some kind of thing and then get them to meet there at the Leggett, Henderson alignment? What are you trying to say, Javier? I'm having a hard time visualizing it.
So on the map,
Mhm.
You want to take over the share screen, Javier?
yeah,
Now, there's gonna be two of these lots are gonna disappear on this 30 lot map.
let me
We only
see.
have 28, so we have two exact lots at 60 by 100 to play with.
You know,
So the lots we can move some on this. The first piece, I'm trying to get that Henderson line lined up as much as we can, but it adds 40 feet to that side. It takes away 40 feet from this side.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Right, then that's what the issue, what the fix is, but also creates an issue for you. So can you see that screen?
yeah, I see it, yeah.
So where this little dirt road has been for construction,
I
that'd be
see
your
now.
new road, and then I think it's 200-foot radius minimum curves
That's
that
the
would swoop
existing right
down.
now.
That
Okay,
would swoop down and
Okay,
then
right,
realign back with the rest of your lots.
okay, so we're gonna lose a lot there,
Right.
to get the sweep.
In the front.
200-foot radius, you said?
For the curves, yes.
Okay, where Henderson hits the dirt right there by that hole, the end of that curb right there is the end of Leggett. Is that correct? That goes into Henderson here? Where this down right here, is that what it is? This end of this cement?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of the map right there, the way they've got it drawn. So this pit, from right here, though, here's the line that goes back of these houses right here, way down here.
That's where your new road is.
So the fence is right here. So we got this much to play with. There's 100 feet right here that we have all this that does
What they're
it.
saying is our road's gonna be right here, Steve.
Right.
So in order to get this, and this is not in line with this road or
Correct.
this road.
Correct.
So they're gonna have to
Curve it.
cut a lot and then on a 200-foot radius and bow around. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely in a room, because yeah.
Okay, I think, and but again, we'll have to have the
Well, the
engineer
thing
draw
is,
it for us.
from here, from the curb to here is like Whoever draws this guy, I think it's like 100 feet. It's not 60. So from my curb and gutter right here to the rollout I have to do is probably half the road is still way up there. It's big right here. This is huge right here in the front, right here, like a parking lot.
Yeah.
So as you come down here to the pond, this is all huge. And it's all huge in here. This is a lot of wasted space to make that road go down through there, I'm saying, or less. Because there's a lot of road right there, pavement.
Yeah, but I think what we're getting at, Steve, is we can align it up, but then you end up with really big lots. We're trying to, and we.
Right.
We sweep a curve, we lose a lot, but we end up with 9 more lots than we would have had otherwise.
Yeah, no, sweeping's good as long as it,
Okay.
because we got a lot of room there to sweep it. So I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you might be right, and then that'll become, they're gonna put this into staff comments, and then the engineer's gonna draw it up and show it's compliant. Okay, I think we beat that up, and where are we at now?
I think, we're good. Javier?
Yes.
Buying lunch.
Huh?
Starving.
Next, we're building with James.
No comment.
No comments from building.
James.
Not yet, you'll be in there.
Next, with our Public Works, division, starting with Robert.
No comment. Looks like water and sewers out there, so.
Thank you.
No comment.
No comments.
Loving it, Robert, thanks.
Services are out there. Next with, David.
Yeah, no comments from water either.
Thank you, David. Next, with refuse, with Brianna.
I have no comments.
Thank you,
Love her,
Brianna.
Next.
Next with, streets, Joe.
I have no comments.
Thank you. All right, so that is all preliminary comments from city staff. We'll compile a letter for the applicant in about 2 to 3 week timeframe.
Okay.
Are there any additional questions for the 3 weeks?
This is really more like 6 to 8 weeks, but
I gotta,
don't even call
I gotta
them,
work tomorrow.
don't even call them 2 and 3 weeks.
It'll be done in 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh,
Good, good.
Okay.
Right.
Tell you a story. Well, it's different, this is a different city manager or interim city manager.
You're on the tag too.
Are there any additional questions?
No, but we're gonna go
How
with
are you feeling about that curve on that road right there? You feeling all right with it? Curve a little bit?
Yeah, if we're able to meet the minimum standards, from engineering, then, we could.
That's why they built it, it's a 60, 80 feet across, that's a lot of bow, and before you even get to the.
It can be done, it's just how many, whether it's gonna take 1 lot or 2 lots.
Right,
You see what
right.
I'm saying?
Well, I've got 2 set aside for that.
All right, then
We're
we're
doing
okay.
all the stuff.
Okay, and then like I said, we're gonna bow that road and everything, so I mean, I think this is good. Now, this is, we're only gonna sell, okay, and I think we brought it up that we envision phasing it just with the stuff on fronted on Laurel, so, but I was told, I think, Oscar told me that that's kind of something we do more toward the end,
Right,
right?
you guys wanna buy something?
For the, final map,
It's
right?
cheap too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Javier,
No, I don't.
I'm
They
wanna
could,
buy one on that soil.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
they could, phase the final map?
Sorry, what was that? Move forward on the final map?
The final map, are they able to phase that in 2 phases?
Yeah,
Or
it
you do
can
now.
be any phases that you want. It could be 5, anything that suits what you want to build.
And that was a question though, because this thing is, there's no way we could do it in 3 phases, because wouldn't we have to build all the internal infrastructure regardless of whether it was 1 phase or 3, right? Isn't that kind of the way? My point is because what we would have is, because of the nature of this looped road, we'd have to do the whole loop road to, my point is we couldn't put a 2nd phase that only envisioned that 2nd row of houses, because we'd only have road on one side, right? Am I figuring that wrong or not?
Unless we'd allow a temporary cul-de-sac.
Yeah. All right, well, that's an option, and we may envision that option, but, I mean, can we put it on there, as a potential for a 2nd phase, but to be the conditions to be determined later, or we need to set those additions down in the final map if we intend to do a 2nd phase or something like that?
All that would really happen is when you do a phased final map, the conditions applicable to that would be an appropriate subset of the overall conditions of the tentative map. So
I got
you
you.
would put all the conditions on it right now, and then as you phase it, you just do those parts.
But we need to set those out and put them in the documents then, so we need to spend a little time, if my point is, we're gonna go through the trouble of putting a second phase, that those conditions in case of a second phase would have to be laid out on the final map. Is that true or no?
Yep, have to have it. And if
We're not gonna leave it open-ended.
Right, you would designate the phasing, well, one at the tentative map stage, and then it's just, the final map would just be that phase that you're moving forward with.
Well, that's not really, I'll ask it from the end. If I got any questions on it, I don't think, it's such a small thing. I can't really see much virtue in doing a second and third. I see the first phase because it allows us to sell off the stuff on Laurel, but
Right.
it seems like that.
too much time.
What do you think, do it, Jay?
Yeah, I was thinking, I think we're good. We beat it up. I think we're good. I am. Steve, you got anything?
No, I'm gonna, no, it's good. We have to start somewhere.
Let me start.
No, all right, now,
Crossing some stuff off.
when do I get to see Southern Council to call them? Because I can't do them until I get a
Final map. Final map.
Final map. Well, we need to get a final.
we want to get them on board tomorrow,
No,
really.
a final map means you're done, Steve.
Well, I know that, but,
No, that's
try to get something a little bit faster, so we premeditate some of this, get it fast. I don't want it to take another year.
Does Edison want a final map? What's your experience to be? Does Edison want a final map?
They wanted,
Technology's coming faster.
Before they'll do any, I mean, this is a kind of unique situations because there's already power there. So really, it's just a matter of, extending it so there's.
Gonna be here.
No, I don't know. Your experience has been, do they want a final map before they'll move the power?
Extra hazard too.
Hmm,
And so it changes.
no, because I know that's been in the works. They should be able to move those poles because it's obvious that the street improvements now can't be completed.
Specifically adopted that.
Well, they said they were gonna move them. We got an email from them, but I need to get a little bit finer detail on what's really gonna happen,
Right.
how they wanna do it.
Final map just has to be approved. Well, again, because the problem, if it's a tentative map, it's one thing. If it's a final map, like you said.
oh, it doesn't say final. I'm sorry. It just says that
If I
track.
wait
map.
long enough.
They're saying, we stand corrected. Edison
Either.
didn't say they.
Underground.
Edison said they didn't want a final, so maybe that's something, maybe we can show them a tentative and they'll tell us what we gotta have or whatever. Right?
Right.
Find out.
And we have the construction plans too that show those poles end up in the middle of the road, so they need to move.
Yeah,
Right. I think that's gonna be the issue. I'd like to get that one actually figured out before we take off here.
well, that's really Edison. It's really Edison.
True, but you guys are buddies with them, and you guys can talk to them.
Yeah, cool.
But they don't like me right now.
Edison don't like anybody.
Or the gas company don't like me either, so. They're a little bit arguing there. That's really about it. We need kind of a direction to go to.
Well, I think first things first,
You guys all work 8 to 5?
let's get our plans done and get them submitted and get the clock ticking on the environmental.
Hey, are we gonna be able to parlay that environmental somehow, a little half, to get the front half done?
It doesn't save any money, Steve. It's the same cost. On a mitigated deck, it's the same cost whether you do 1 acre or 100 acres, same cost. It's not gonna save anything.
No, the Oscar there is the environmental run through us, or can it be done through the applicant now?
It can be done either way.
Either.
Okay,
So you can go through the city, Greg, or you can get your own
Who do we
consultant and
like? Who
submit
do we
that.
use? Who do we see a lot of guys? Who do we see a lot of guys using? Who do we see all the developers use?
you
for
see
environmental?
them with guns over there chasing them. down.
Well, that's who's the cheapest and easiest. Who are we seeing doing it? Do we know? I'm not advocating for anybody. I just like to know in frequency.
Generally
use?
speaking, developers either pick Crawford and Bowen or Precision Civil Engineering.
All right, got that.
Where are they from? They local?
Robert and Bowen.
Their Precision's in Fresno and Crawford and Bowen's in Visalia.
Robert and Bowen
And
Precision.
What's that?
Precision.
And Precision. And Precision's where?
In Fresno.
Okay, that's Precision Environmental. What are they called?
Engineering.
Precision Civil Engineering.
These smart asses up here. Can you say that again?
Engineering.
Precision Civil Engineering.
Engineering. Okay, and that's Fresno.
They're in Fresno, yeah.
All right, well, I can get these two to call and get some prices maybe.
Would you guys, somebody throw a precision brake and wheel?
That's what I'm gonna take that next and bring it back to you.
And it wasn't just one of them, it was two of them that thought it was funny.
got a lot.
I know we're precision.
Got a lot of vehicles.
That's anything.
It used to be anything. All right, I think we beat this up as good as we can. Thanks for all your help. I guess, yeah, I have more questions. So what gets in them?
We still have to.
Hang on,
Thank you.
You?
Thank you.
I'm glad you came dressed up.
You know.
We'll be over, that's it.
Awesome.
See you guys. Thanks, girls.
How long before they, I want to see that one?
Thank you.
Don't let them say nothing bad about me.
That's number two.
I tip good, I'll buy lunch.
All right, moving along with the second item on today's PRC agenda. We have PRC 2025-040, which is for the Crayola corner located at 420 North Beach Street. Let's see. Let me share my screen here of the preliminary site plan. Right. So the applicant is proposing an expansion of use here for the existing Crayola corner. The subject site is zoned RM3, which is high density residential, and also has a general plan land use designation of high density residential. We do have the applicant agent here, Brian.
Get down home.
All right, so as far as comments from planning, this site does have an existing conditional use permit. In order to do an expansion of the use, we would have to modify that conditional use permit. We did process a similar project back in 2022, 2023, in which we were able to approve that modification. But since the entitlements expired due to the applicant not moving forward with the project, we're having to review that process to re-entitle the expansion. So we would have to go through that process. There are fees associated with that. The fee for the modification of conditional use permit, which is going to be modification of conditional use permit 10-88. That fee is $150. It would have to go through a public hearing, which there is a public hearing noticing that we would have to send out to the adjacent properties. The city can prepare those notice for $26.50. It will require an environmental assessment of the site. The staff can make a preliminary determination for an exemption, which the applicant would have to submit a fee of $79 in order to prepare that document. See, there is an existing underlying lot line here that runs through this area. So before we're able to approve any building permits, we would have to either do a lot line adjustment or do a merger of lots. Now, it is our understanding that by proposing this addition, you would be bringing in more staff and additional students,
Yes,
Brian? Do you know that number?
yes, that's the reason.
Would you have the number of?
Not right up, not, no, not right offhand. All she told me that she's gonna extend it to add on more students.
Okay.
I don't have the exact number, how many more she's gonna add on to. I haven't discussed that with her yet.
Okay, yeah, if you could provide us those details, that way we could include it in our review of the project.
Okay. I'll get that as soon as possible.
Sounds good. But yeah, that's gonna be our preliminary comments from planning.
Okay, great.
Sounds good. Moving along, with the departments. We'll start with our fire department. Jason.
So a couple of questions come up as to the occupancy classification for this. What are the ages and number of students that are proposed?
I'm thinking she's gonna start from like 3 years old all the way up to 6.
Okay, so 3 to 6.
Is that what's there now, Brian? That age group?
Yes, as far as I know, yes, but I can get that accurate for you.
Okay, so there, yeah, so it's gonna be 9-4 because the 3, yeah, they're not capable of following direction. It'll be a 9-4. So, as far as the fire department's concerned, we'll need plans to be submitted for the installation or modification of the, required fire alarm system. It's, in the house as an R3, it requires simply a device that's local and only notifies the occupants inside. But as this becomes a Group E or Group I4 occupancy, the proper fire alarm and everything will need to be in place. And then fire extinguishers placed to comply with the currently adopted edition of the fire code, and Knox access for the structure.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh. For building, yeah, plans will need to be submitted for review. We will look at exiting, during that time. There will, since the main area now is getting moved from the main residence to the back building, we will need an ADA stall to be installed. Looks like there's room just north of the of that building itself. Yeah, where Oscar's got his mouse.
That showed it was previously used as a carport
Used to-
or parking area.
Perfect, so that's.
So, yeah, if there's an ADA stall needed, that could work.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah. Right.
Is that area being used right now for anything, Brian?
No, not yet. We're gonna end up putting concrete.
Yeah, so we'll probably have to level it and do it to ADA.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, it's all been removed. It's all cracked, but that's going back with new concrete and upgrade.
It's removed as we speak. It's gone.
Yes, because it was pretty well damaged. It's buckled up everywhere. So yes, we have removed it.
Okay. Well, before you pour it back, let me know and we can talk to make sure it goes in correctly.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, other than that, just like Clayton said, some more clarification on the age group and
Yes.
how many kids.
Right, got it. I'll get all that information as soon as possible.
Yeah, other than that, our only other comments would be, if any, during the plan review process itself.
Okay.
Thank you, James. Next with engineering with Javier.
For engineering, it just depends on the valuation of what's to be built. Because it'll affect like the corner curb ramp at Morton. And let me see real quick. I think
E Street.
Oh, yeah, at East Street there. Yeah, so that corner curb ramp, I see that there's a street light there, so that's not an issue. Or was it? Oh, actually, that's that pole. Yeah, so the only item for engineering would be the corner curb ramp, but its correction will depend on the permit valuation.
Sounds good. Thank you, Javier.
Mhm.
Next with Public Works, we'll start off with Robert.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if this is gonna be a commercial building and require a landscape meter to separate sewer from it. David, do you have any idea?
I would assume so. Means it's a daycare facility. It currently on the water service, it doesn't have any backflow device, so it would definitely need one of those, and then it could trigger to get a manifold and a separate service for landscape. Protected by a backflow as well.
I think those are all the comments.
Thank you, Robert and David.
Yeah, that's all I had too. Thank you.
Brianna, any comments related to refuse?
No, I have no comments.
Thank you. Next with Joe, any comments related to streets?
No, I have no comments.
Thank you, Joe. So yeah, Brian, that's our preliminary comments from city staff pertaining to today's project. We will try to get the comments gathered, compiled in a letter for the applicant in about 2 to 3 weeks timeframe. Do you have any questions at this time?
No, that's it. I just appreciate everything you guys done. Give me all the information I need to proceed.
For sure. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
You're more than welcome to stay and hear the other projects.
No, that's good. Thank you, Oscar. I gotta get back to work. Thank you, James.
All right, good. Thank you, Brian.
Bye.
All right. Moving along with our third item on today's agenda, which is PRC 2025-041. Gonna be 438 West Warren Avenue. We have the applicant Leticia with us. Want to join us at the table? All right, oops, I need to open one more. The other floor plans. So we do have an existing commercial building at 38 West 38 West Warren Avenue. The zoning for the property is general and service commercial. General plan also has it designated as general and service commercial. As far as comments from planning, we just want to make sure that any new uses that go into the suites are allowed for that zone district. My understanding is there's an existing tattoo shop, possibly future barber shop and nail salon, which are permitted uses within that zone district. Our comments are going to be fairly related to the any future signage compliant with our development code. We are going through a sign update, so our comments related to that are going to be minimal at this time, and then we'll provide any updates once we go through that process.
Okay.
There is existing parking areas. I think it counted about 11 stalls that have been established there. They're not adding any new square footage.
Yeah.
There's not a change in use classification that would trigger any additional parking stalls. So our comments are going to be pretty minimal on this one. Related more for the uses when you do bring in your new tenants. So that's going to be our comments from planning. Next with fire department.
Fire department's relatively simple. We just need fire extinguishers placed in each tenant. So when they come in to get their business license and stuff, we'll do a business license inspection after they open up. They'll need fire extinguishers. And then if it's not already on the building, there should be a Knox box placed on the building wherein by the owner so that we can put keys to each tenant space. So if we have to respond at 2 in the morning, we don't have to break down the doors.
Okay.
We can open that. And then as tenants move in and out, you can just call us to update the keys for those suites if they need to change the locks.
Okay.
So, And the website to order that is www.knoxbox.com, which is KNOXBOX. And if you have any questions or anything, reach out to me. I can help you think about this.
All right.
Thank you, Lisa. Next with building, James?
So the floor plan, that existing restroom there, that would serve for all those suites right there?
The two suites, suite A and B, because it's right in the middle. They've got two doors, each one has a door, and then it goes out and they can use the restroom.
Okay. Any work gonna be done to
No.
create those suites?
No, they're already there.
All right, okay. So this is just a process of trying to make them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any comments.
Thank you, James. Javier, any comments on this project?
No, since there are no improvements planned, engineering would not have comments.
Thank you, Javier. Next is Public Works. We'll start with Brianna. For refuse.
I have no comments other than each suite will need its own set of commercial containers or a waiver on file for the organics.
Thank you, Brianna. Next with Joe.
I have no comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Next with David.
Yeah, we would need a backflow device installed just on the water service. It looks like there's only one water service feeding this whole building and no landscape, so it would probably just get away with one backflow device installed. Just after the meter on the water service, and that would be all my comments.
No, right.
Inside
There's some water.
of that building.
Backflow
Maybe
device.
a couple extra suites.
Okay, got it.
We already did that one.
Next, any other comments from Public Works? Robert?
No comment.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's all of our comments on the project. We'll provide each department's review of the application in about 2 to 3 weeks. Next step after that, just complying with any requirements that the departments have outlined.
Mhm.
And then next step is just processing the business licenses for your new tenants.
Okay, so once I get all these, like the backflow, who do I notify?
David, you would go through, how would they process that? Would that be through a building permit or through the water department?
Yeah, that would be through James,
Goes through
Backflow, right?
Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, with engineering with Daniel, you'll submit an application for the backflow.
You can go to our front counter here
Uh-huh,
and they'll help you.
okay. Okay,
Sound good?
alrighty, well, that's it.
Well, thank you for the application.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay.
All right. Moving along with our agenda here. The fourth item on today's agenda, which is PRC 2025-042. We have a new development of a zero emission maintenance facility. Let me share my screen.
That's a
here.
fancy title. I
Yes.
just call it a maintenance facility, but
We have the proposal on the north side of Grand Avenue, about 650 feet west of Prospect Street on APN 251350028. The site plan. This floor plan. All right, so comments from planning. It's just complying with our development standards. There was a question about landscaping within the front yard setback. It is
There
a
we go.
requirement. It is a requirement, but since we're gonna be utilizing this front area for access, entry and access for the service base, then it won't require the total of 30 feet of the front area to be landscaped. The code will still require to have a 6 foot landscape buffer from the right of way. So that is what we'll be requiring as part of the minimum requirements. You are showing enough parking stalls for the establishment. There is, you do show landscape planters within every, what is it? 4 or 5 stalls, which does meet our minimums. You could even try to expand that, provide them at every 8 stalls if needed. But as shown, it is something that is within the minimum. Yeah, you are showing surfacing, you are showing a trash enclosure here on the north side of the area. We will require it to comply with our minimum standards as far as materials. No parking in front of the enclosure that you do show that.
We're planning on using a bus as the fence or the gate in front of the enclosure. Will that work?
That wouldn't work. It will require to have a metal framing with maybe some wood inserts, so.
I wanna see it on a cinder block. When it's a cinder block, I wanna make it like everything else we do. I want a $50,000 trash enclosure.
We'll provide the minimum material requirements in the letters. My understanding is this is gonna be a component of the city courtyard.
Is yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be our minimum comments. Unless there's any other additional comments from our planning division, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Are there any questions from the architectural team?
Yeah, we do have folks from our architectural team that's on the call. Ursula is here. I think she had sent via email some list of questions, but Ursula, is this the appropriate time that?
Oh, yes, of course. I think they were related to building, and then we'll have James answer those questions.
Okay, could you just please go, this is Ursula. Could you just please go back to your comments about the trash enclosure? Sorry, the my sound wasn't very good.
Yeah, for us, we do have minimum requirements for the material of trash enclosures, which include, they have to be from STMU block constructed. Let me find the code section here. It's under 300.13. It does require the gate material to be decorative solid heavy gauge metal. If it's not visible from the public street or public parking areas, the enclosure gates may be constructed of chain link or wood.
Oh, but we will need gates.
Yes.
Is what I'm hearing. I think there had been some chatter talk on our team that maybe because our whole site is surrounded by a gate that's gonna be opaque, that we wouldn't need those gates at the trash enclosure.
Yeah, the code would require gate material for the enclosure itself. The difference is since it's not gonna be accessible to the public or in the view of the right of way or adjacent to any residential, then the change from the gate material can be reduced from it having to be metal to chain link. But
Okay.
our code currently does require a gate to that enclosure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ursula, did you have any other questions?
I had some questions about the building. Most of them were just answered today. Are we at that point to discuss the building, or are there more site concerns?
Yeah, we can move along and speak with James with our building division. any other questions related to that questionnaire you sent over?
Okay, I think you answered my question about the A3 occupancy, that we don't need it. I'll just consider it a B occupancy. That's for the training room and the little kitchenette that are over on the right-hand side
I answered that today.
of the building, the office area. So
Yeah,
thank you for that. And that, knowing that we can get rid of that, it kind of deals with the plumbing fixture count. We now comply with that. So question 2 has been taken care of. I think I just had another question again about like plumbing fixtures, specifically drinking fountains and service sinks, and how many would be required, because I have seen there being kind of like a difference in how code officials go about this, whether we're going to have to provide drinking fountains per occupancy, or if it's per just like overall building.
It's the drinking fountains is based off of the occupancy. To be
Yeah,
honest
so
with-
so we have a B occupancy and then we have an S1 occupancy.
Right.
Okay. So we'll have to supply for both of those. What about the service sink? So we have one right now, right? It's in that janitor's closet labeled 117. It's kind of sandwiched, yeah, in between the office area and the big service bay area. Janitor's 117, just right to the north of your
Oh, right
cursor.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you
Okay.
can kind of see that little image coming through. Do we need another one then for the
So there's
S1
this-
occupancy?
There's a sink inside of the janitor's room.
It's a mop. Yeah, it's a mop sink.
Floor
Okay.
sink.
Mop, no, it's a mop sink.
Yep. And I'm wondering if we need another one.
No.
Okay, so just one. So it's like one per building, not one per occupancy.
Correct.
Okay. That's all I needed as a point of clarification. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, I mean, I guess this would be a design question for the city, but would, do we need that many stalls in the restroom?
So good question. When we're working with the design firm, we are building for the future. So this is a bigger maintenance facility than our current existing one. We weren't quite sure, what the workforce makeup would be between male and female. Knowing our current environment, it's probably more heavier for mechanics to be male, but with a larger number of office space, there could be a fair amount of females working on the office side. So,
Well, if you look at the code just under a B, she can break down on occupant load on how many stalls, are needed. It wouldn't go off of what we think's it would just go off of what the code says.
For that size building.
it's a good question. I would say I would lean on having more than what the code says, because the reality is
The building's gonna be servicing more people than just the people that work there, people that
Yeah,
shop
the
and drop things off
driver.
and
yeah.
people that come at the end of the day, but don't necessarily have an
Yeah.
office, but need to use the restroom
Yeah.
before they go home.
You would just have to meet minimum,
Okay.
I guess in my opinion, there was.
Okay,
There was
so-
plenty.
Yeah, so currently we do meet code minimum.
Yeah.
But we far exceed what like the staff and visitor anticipated levels would be, right? So we
Right.
are at code minimum right now with all of our fixtures.
For an A3?
Nope, not for an A3, for a B. If we had an A3, we would need 2 more women's water closets, which we don't have. But as I heard it, we got rid of our A3 occupancy, so the training room and the kitchenette, that whole area is now considered B, per the response I got today.
Right, right.
So we are sitting right at code minimum.
Any ideas about using this facility?
Well, we just tell you the minimum you have to have. You can put more if you want.
Oh, okay.
You can have as many as you want. You don't care.
We might. That's good to know that we're at code minimum.
Thank you.
Stay there.
Yep. But you know, keep in mind that I believe our occupancy count per code is like 170 or 69, somewhere in that neighborhood. But the anticipated employee count is like 16. So there is quite a difference between the amount of employees that we think are actually going to be using this facility and code required. I mean, typically there's always a difference there, but it just happens to be quite a bit in our case.
100 and what?
Like 169, 70 or something like that per code. That's a code derived occupancy count.
From from the square footage of the S1 and also the square footage of the B?
Correct.
Well, maybe, yeah, we can talk about that later. That seems really high to me.
Well, it's just straight up occupancy numbers from code.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
maybe we can get an email chain going later and maybe you can show me how you're doing that.
Yep. I mean, I can just tell you that we divided the B occupancy by 150, right? And then the S1 by 300.
Okay.
So typical stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can revisit too. We have an upcoming 90% set in a couple of weeks. I think what you're looking at now is the revised 60%. So
Yeah.
we'll have some new numbers. We'll get rid of that A3 and then you can take a look at those new numbers.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Questions on verify.
Thank you. Moving good.
Yeah.
All right, moving along, with now, Clayton with the fire department.
So the project shall comply with all the latest applicable codes. The project needs to meet the minimum fire flow requirements per the table in Appendix B of the most recently adopted edition of the California Fire Code, which I don't know as of this official submittal if you will be under the 2022 code or the new 2025 code. So you'll want to be making your designs pending the adoption of the new code if you intend to pull your permits after, say, January 1st. So that's just something to consider as you near completion of your plan set and we near the end of the year. We're going to be starting the adoption cycle for the codes for the 25 edition of the California Code. So something to be aware of.
So that would be, I'm sorry. So that would be all the code, all of title.
Well, yeah, the code's the building code, the fire code, you know, the mechanical code, they're all gonna be changing from the 2022 to the 2025 around January 1st. So if, like I said, if you get it in before then for permits, then you fall under the 22 code, but afterwards you would fall under the 25 code. So not sure of any nuance changes. I just started my review of the 25 code, so I'm not aware of any major changes just yet. With regard to the fire sprinkler plans and calculations, I know that on this set of revised plans, they were looking at an ordinary hazard group 2 classification. I know that the NFPA went from an ordinary hazard 1 to an ordinary hazard 2. However, the NFP is currently under review and is expected to put out a change to go to an extra hazard 1 or extra hazard 2. the National Fire Sprinkler Association is already recommending that there is an extra hazard 2 calculation for the fire sprinklers when it comes to anything that's going to be parking or storing or maintaining any lithium ion battery vehicles or other lithium ion battery storage. So that would need to be considered. We have not specifically adopted that in this jurisdiction. However, I would like to go with best industry standards. I do know that based off the international code in the state of Florida, the city of Miami, they went with a requirement of an extra hazard 2 with an additional 2.5-inch fire hose connection within 250 feet. So just some things to consider as you are, again, designing this project. I'm not sure that the ordinary hazard 2 is going to suffice because as we know, technology moves faster than the code sometimes. And so, so we'd like to make sure that we put what's going to be safest for that occupancy.
Okay, so extra hazard 2,
that would be my suggestion.
Mhm.
We could look at the differences if you ran the calcs at an extra hazard 1 and an extra hazard 2 as to the, the K factor or density coverage that's required by the sprinkler heads themselves and the flows and pressures. Now, I know the city of Porterville has a pretty robust water system, so I don't think you're going to have any struggle maybe meeting the demands on a building of this size. I'm not anticipating a fire pump, but yeah, it's definitely something where I think we need to calculate it at a higher classification.
Okay.
With that said, so the fire sprinkler plans calculations, including the monitoring and/or fire alarm system and plans, need to be submitted with the complete package when the building permit is submitted for. Fire hydrants are going to be required to be placed based on distance, no greater than 300 feet for commercial projects. Any on-site hydrants where there are 2 or more required require a looped line. So that'll be a requirement there. No structure shall be greater than 400 feet from a hydrant. And then the number of hydrants is not simply based on the distance calculation. There is also making sure that the project meets the fire flow and everything else, which could trigger additional hydrants. When we get to that point and we start calculating that, if you have questions or concerns regarding the layout, feel free to reach out to me and I can help you design that. The fire department connection for the fire sprinkler system shall be at least 40 feet away from the building, as well as any required PIV. The fire department connection shall also be within 50 feet of a functioning fire hydrant. So with that, we just jump into basic stuff like fire extinguishers as required per occupancy and placement per the fire code. Knox box and gate access to the building and gates going in there. And then address numbers posted on the building shall be visible from the street, installed on a contrasting background. A building of this size would probably require a minimum, 6 or 8 inch letter?
Yeah, probably 6.
Yeah, minimum on this would be a 6 or 8 inch letter or number for the address sizing and having it contrast with the color that it's installed on.
Okay, could you please repeat the part about the fire department connection?
Yes, the fire department connection and any required PIV valve shall be at least 40 feet away from the building. My recommendation is honestly to put the FDC and any PIV on the street in the public right of way outside any fencing.
Okay.
That way, because essentially the first engine in is going to start quick attack. The second engine in is going to pull up and start pumping the FDC. So we want them in a location where they're not in the way, but they can still assist and do what they need to do. So realistically, if you put it on the street right there, with enough space to pull an engine up and have a hydrant right there, that second engine will do the connection and pumping because the hydrant will be within 50 feet of the FDC.
So this is Randy Jacobs with TKDA
Yes, sir.
I'm the electrical engineer working on it. And the
Okay.
Knox box for this, I mean, in the Knox box for this location, we do have gates at the street controlling
Correct.
access coming into the space. So
If they are
is the
gonna,
Knox box
yeah,
for that to be?
well, if they're gonna be electric gates, we'll require a Knox activated keyed switch. If they're gonna be manual gates, we'll require a Knox padlock, which is, those two locks are sub-keyed for police and fire. And then the Knox box itself can still be placed on the building because that is keyed to the master key, accessible to fire department only to get access to the interior of the building.
Right. So then we'll technically need two of them then, one Knox box, one in the building and one out at the gate.
Well,
entrance as
yeah,
well.
you'll need a Knox box, but if those gates are electronic, we'll just put in you can just put in a keyed switch. That's much cheaper
Keyed
than a
switch.
box. Yeah, a Knox
Okay.
keyed switch. You can order it from Knox.
Okay.
Yeah. It's common like on gated communities like mobile home parks and stuff like that. We have them so that they're keyed so police and fire can get into the facility in the event of an emergency.
All right, perfect, thanks.
And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly.
Thank you, Clayton. Next with engineering with Javier.
All right, for engineering, just have the comments that with the streetlight spacing out there, we'd be looking for 2 streetlights, one at each end of the property. And then as far as the frontage there, I know the surrounding area's got the adjacent sidewalk, but with the new standard, we have a landscape strip up front and then the sidewalk behind it. And that's what we'd be looking for here.
Javier, is there any consideration that we could, I understand what the standard is, but to match the landscaping on the other side of the street, could there be some consideration to match that landscaping so it doesn't look off, or we need to go to the new standard where it's a sidewalk then landscaping, or vice versa, whatever you said?
We can take a look at that. Because the site plan I saw, it showed a fence, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because if we flip flop those, that fence would have to get pushed back because there's a requirement to separate the fence from sidewalk too. So I'll take a look at that and see if we can just hold to what is in the area.
Yeah, thanks. And you might have seen from maybe the turning radius page that we're kind of constrained with space, and to make the turning radius, knowing that most of the traffic will be coming from the current corporation yard into the new facility, kind of going back and forth, but we will be having some, pulling straight into the new maintenance facility, but most of the work is pulling vehicles off the line for preventive maintenance. Printing, I guess, you can see that it's kind of tight and towards the back, and I don't know how much room, and maybe Ursula can speak to it if we had to move, if we even had the opportunity or ability to move the building back, if we had to incorporate the landscaping in the front. More landscaping.
Well, yeah, our site is, and where we located the building is all based on turning radii. It's almost like our building is where we can have it, given that we want all of the vehicle types to have access to any of the service bays. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, how's it going? This is Luis with TKDA. I was just gonna add that, yeah, I think you brought that up correctly, Ursula. The the northwest corner is already pretty tight where the trucks are making the right turn right there. And we do have a fence, and then we have a planter in front of the street, and then the sidewalk is adjacent to that. As you can see, there's I guess symbols that represent trees along the front of the building. Not sure if that would be sufficient, or we still have to readjust that layout.
Yeah, we'll take a look and see if we can leave it as shown.
Yeah, sounds good. Basically, I think to Mr. Richards' point, we were trying to match what's existing on the opposite side of the proposed facility.
Thank you. All right, moving along, with Public Works, starting with, refuse. Brianna,
I have no comments.
thank you. Next with Streets with Joe.
I have no comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. With the Water, Department with David.
My only comment would be, all three types of water services shall be protected by backflow prevention devices. But it's kind of early on in that process, so that was my only comment.
Thank you, David. Next was Robert. Any, additional comments?
No, I think David covered the comments I was gonna have.
Sounds good. So yeah, that's our preliminary comments from city staff at this time. Are there any questions from the applicant or the architectural team? Any additional questions?
I'll just defer to the TKDA staff if you had any other questions.
This is Elam. I do have a quick question though, regarding the trash enclosure.
Yeah.
So ISOM had contacted the refuse supervisor, and he said they don't want the gate. Do we still want the gate? Because they said that the trash enclosures inside the enclosed facility, they don't need the gate on that. But you know, we can provide a gate if it's required.
Oscar,
yes.
I did have that conversation with Russell, and I also let him know that I had been misinformed.
Okay.
So I apologize for that.
Yeah, no worries. Again, the code is worded in a way that the enclosure itself would require to have a gate. The only difference is gonna be the material, right? Chain link, gates can be, approved, due to the location of the enclosure. It's not in the front view. It's not in the, would you say, yeah, it's not in the close to the right of way, so we could approve a chain link gate instead of metal gate. And again, that's the way the code is worded. That could change in the near future because we are going through a comprehensive development code update, which that could change. And when this project comes through, it may be different.
Isn't that chain link or wood? Did I hear you say chain?
Yeah, chain link or wood. That's as worded in the current code. So yeah, we'll provide those updates to the team once that does happen.
How about a roof to the trash enclosure? Is the lid sufficient?
Our code doesn't require for the enclosure to be roofed.
Thank
Now,
you.
if you do propose that may trigger other requirements from fire. Is that my understanding, Blaine?
Yes. Sorry.
No worries. Are we proposing a roof over the enclosure?
No, we were just
Okay.
confirming.
No, it's not required. But if it is proposed, I know fire may require some additional.
Depends on the location.
On the locations, okay. Sounds good. Any other questions at this time for the team? If not, we can always reach out to us by email or phone call, and we'll be able to assist with that.
Yeah, and it's Ursula again.
Hey,
If I
Ursula? Yeah.
if I could request in the letter that we get, just that information about the ordinary hazard and changing to an extra hazard too. Yeah, just so we make sure that we do that work. Mechanical fire protection isn't on the line, but
Hey, I'm here.
oh, you are great. Hey, sorry, didn't mean to.
Did you have any questions about the comments that I made regarding the ordinary hazard changing to an extra hazard calculation?
Not on this end, no. We will react based upon what needs to be designed.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. With that, we'll compile each department's comments on the letter, and then we'll be able to send that to the architectural team for review. We try to get those out within 2 to 3 weeks timeframe. And again, if there's anything else that comes up between now and then, just feel free to reach out. I could be your point of contact. And then I'll help distribute those questions if there are any. All right, so with that, we're gonna go ahead and end today's project review committee meeting at 3:10. I would like to thank everybody that joined us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.